Welcome back to the Bengals franchise, and we got the AFC Championship game between those San Diego Superchargers and those New England Patriots. And this time around, ladies and gentlemen, it is going to be those Chargers to get the job done in the championship game. They're going to punch their ticket to the Super Bowl 43-0. They blanketed the Patriots in a big-time win for them. NFC Championship game. Seattle got to travel to the East Coast to take on those New York Football Giants. It's going to be Matt Hasselbeck at the helm for those Seahawks. Kurt Warner at the helm for those New York Giants. And it will be the home team yet again, putting up 40 points, a 41-6 victory. New York is going to the Super Bowl. Now, as I mentioned, it's Kurt Warner. Now, Kurt Warner's in the last year of his contract. Will he be a free agent? He's 88 overall, 34 years of age. Eli's 24 years of age and also 88 overall, but it's not going to be him taking on the team that drafted him. It will be Kurt Warner trying to win a Super Bowl for those New York Giants. Can Felipe get San Diego their first win? Let's find out. And the winner is those San Diego Chargers. 45-10 is the final. Wasn't even close. Probably not the most entertaining Super Bowl to sit there and watch. Now it's time to head to the offseason, or before we do that, the Pro Bowl. You see Palmer, Peyton Manning, Kelly Holcomb. He was a Pro Bowl quarterback for those Cleveland Browns. We got our duo in there with Peter Warrick and Chad Johnson. O-line really didn't get no love. No love for our O-line. We did have a 900-plus yard rusher in our man Rudy Johnson, who also had a gang of touchdowns like he did last year. Back-to-back Pro Bowls for him. Ray Lewis, he's going. Then a whole host of Patriots in the secondary are going. And then Graham, our kicker, he's going to the Pro Bowl as well. Mike Allstott, he has the most votes, just under 300,000. He had 299,997 votes. You love to see the love for the fullbacks. But yeah, he was number one in votes in this. If that matters to you or not, I figured I would share that. Champ Bailey, going back to the AFC side, he did make it as a punt returner. So not as a cornerback, but as a punt returner. That's how Champ got invited to the Pro Bowl. And then when it comes to the actual game, it's going to be the NFC that beats the AFC 17-14 in this year's Pro Bowl. We need a new offensive coordinator. We need a new defensive coordinator. We need a new special teams coach. So we are going to have to spend some money this offseason. Mike Marks, why don't you come on down? He can help our quarterback. He can help our running back. 91 overall when it comes to his offensive coordinator ability. So I would gladly take that. Defensive coordinator, we're looking at a few guys. There were some interesting names out there, and then I settled on Dick LeBeau, who once was the head coach. I believe he was the head coach before Marvin Lewis. So yeah, he is going to be our defensive coordinator now, and then we're going to go with Barry as our special teams coach. Richie, he's going to retire. Anderson, Strong, Brown, Jeff Garcia, Troy Vincent going to call it a career as well. Robbins, he had a career-ending injury, just 32 years of age, and that O-line, these guys, the O-line and D-line, especially interior D-linemen, they can hang around for a long, long time. I believe Washington, Big Ted Washington, he's going to retire this year. He was 85 years old. He had an 85 overall rating. So with their strength, these guys can stick around for a long time. The Bengals, we had nobody retire at all. Jeremy Johnson, he is a restricted free agent, and we are going to give him a one-year deal. If anybody matches it, we're going to see what the compensation is, and we're probably going to try to match it, but nobody will go after him. So Richardson, Williams, Chad Johnson, TJ Houshmandzadeh, Stuart Manuel, Hutchinson, Marshall, Carter, and these are the guys that are going to be going into the free agency pool. You can see Chad is number one, followed by Will Allen. I do this every time just to kind of spice things up, see if we're going to get outbid for a guy. The computer is going to have their chance to try to go after some of our prized possessions in free agency. Hopefully we can bring back Chad Johnson because he's 99 overall, one of my favorite players growing up, and I would hope I would hope that he wants to stay a Cincinnati Bengal. We also need some help on the defensive side of the ball, and I think this offseason we're going to focus heavily on the defense. Hopefully, we can get things right. Peter Warrick, 90 overall. He's going into his year 30 year. He's 29 years of age right now. He's going into year number 7. So we have B value on him, or at least that's what the league says. And I'm going to see what we can do. So I was like, maybe Walker for the Texans number 3 pick with our first round pick. They would do that. And that's actually not a horrible trade to move up to the 3rd spot with the roster that we already have. And we could get their 2nd round pick as well. I'm like, hey, that might work out. But then I was thinking about, well, let me see who's projected to go in like the top 3, top 5, top 10. And I was looking and I was like, maybe we don't need to make that big of a splash to get that far up in the draft. Because again, with quarterback is solidified, running back is solidified. If we can bring back Chad, receiver is solidified. But again, defense could use some work, and Ferris looks to be the top guy in this year's draft, a cornerback out of Kansas. So fullbacks, again, love me some fullbacks, but I'm not taking a fullback in the first round. Not gonna happen. Then you got Diaz, you got Dishman, you got Hicks. These are your top receivers at tight end. Those are your top 3 guys there. O-line, could always use some O-line depth. We kind of do need a center. We drafted one last year. I don't think he got playing time. Maybe he did get playing time. I forget who I started, because after the preseason, they had the position battles and whatnot. But we may look to get a center. But again, I think we're going to focus heavily on the defensive side of the ball. So going back, Peter Warrick for Champ Bailey straight up. Okay, obviously that would not work, but let's throw in our 1st round pick. And no, I haven't thrown in our 2nd round pick. But then Dallas, they want a will and deal. Peter Warrick, B value. Terrence Newman, B value. They're both 90 overall. And I was like, well, throw in your 1st round pick. They're like, no, not going to happen. Throw in your 2nd round pick. Not going to happen. Well, how about we swap picks? And they were like, no, still not going to happen. So I'm like, okay. How about Warrick for Terrence Newman and Jason Witten? Jason Witten is 84 overall. Dan Campbell, he's on the roster. He's also 84 overall. Jay Witt is in the last year of his contract going into this next season, and Campbell is on a 3-year deal. So I think it makes sense. Warrick, he's on the last year of his deal. Again, I do not think he's going to get any better than this. He has been a dynamic receiver for us. He's been a back-to-back Pro Bowl receiver for us. But I think we can get some tight end help. So that means that our man, Kelly, is now expendable. We're going to send Kelly in a 4th round pick to the Packers for their 4th round pick. Really just want to get his contract off of the books, and now he's happy to be a Packer. James, we no longer need you. So we're going to send you to the Niners for their 1st pick of the 3rd round. We're also going to send a couple of draft picks their way as well. So the guy that I want to draft is an outside linebacker. Right outside linebacker could use some help, and it's Thomas. He runs a 4.46, which probably is going to be low 80s, but most likely high 70s, out of Louisiana Tech, 6'2", 242 pounds. And lo and behold, by the time that it's our time to pick, he's no longer there. So we're going to trade the 1st pick to the Rams for their 2nd and for their 4th. We come back and we're going to get Hicks, who was supposed to go in the 1st round. He drops to the 2nd pick of the 2nd round. We're going to pick him up there. And now we have Hicks, we have Washington, and we have Danielson as our receivers, because we're still waiting on the re-signing period to try to get Chad back. Can we get Chad back is the question. Did I fumble this whole thing by not keeping Peter Warrick around? So Hicks, 75 overall. Great hands at 88 overall. That speed, though, at 80. I mean, Hines Ward wasn't the fastest guy. They have similar measurables as far as their height and weight. But my goodness gracious, 80 overall speed. He will be a possession receiver with those hands, and hopefully that works out. Mark Henry will be a right outside linebacker for us. We got him with the Niners pick. Looks pretty decent. Spoiler alert, him and Thomas's overall are pretty similar. However, the speed is a problem. He has 61 overall speed. That is not a good look, to say the least. We did pick up a center, 70 overall, 88 run block, 85 pass block. Awareness is a problem at 46, but with some playing time in the preseason, hopefully that will be elevated, right? Then we got Charlie Jones, a right end out of Arizona State, 6'7", 308. He's a pretty big dude. Just signed him to a 1-year deal. I'm trying to match whatever the computer would do, so I'm not trying to give guys crazy contracts no more. Obviously, giving a rookie 2 to 3 years isn't crazy, but if the computer Scooter gives them 1 year, then I'm going to give them 1 year as well, just to keep the roster kind of moving along and going up and down and having guys come in and come out. So Ferris did go number 1 to the Niners out of Kansas. He has great speed, but he's only 5'8". So again, he's kind of on the smaller side of things, but he should be able to run with everybody. Big Duff, right guard, going to those Houston Texans. And then the pick after them, you got Dishman going to the San Diego Superchargers, the Super Bowl champions. They got the 4th pick in the draft. The rich get richer. Walker, he's a DN going to the Chicago Bears. Left guard out of Michigan. He's going to be going to those New Orleans Saints. 97 run block, just 60 pass block. Lorenzo Ellis, cornerback out of Auburn. He's going to be replacing Terrence Newman, the 72 overall. Then you got Jason Chandler, running back out of Washington State. 192 pounds, 5'10", 87, I believe it's 87 overall speed. Smaller D tackle from Western Illinois. Then there goes Charlie Thomas, right outside linebacker. He got picked way ahead of us. I thought we had a legitimate chance of signing him, drafted him, and it just didn't work out for us. Chad Johnson, we're going to give him as much money as we can. The signing bonus is really what's most important, so we're going to just give it up past the $10 million mark, and he will end up signing with us. We will bring back John Kitna, who spent a year in Pittsburgh. Now he's back with us. I believe Carson Palmer is really upset with the Bengals for not re-signing John Kitna in real life, and that was one of the things that led him to the Raiders. So I'm going to bring him back just to keep my quarterback happy. Jason Baker, he's going to be our new punter. Liddell Betts, kick returner and our 3rd back on the roster at 77 overall. Salim Rashid. Anyways, he's going to be a backup rotational linebacker. McKenzie, he's going to be a backup defensive end for us. Ron Dixon will be our main kick returner. He is 72 overall at receiver. He will not be our 4th receiver. That's going to be Danielson, going to try to help him progress. Peter, he will be a backup D lineman. We have a backup left tackle here. And then Jonathan Carter, we took away our offer because he was going to be a kick returner for us. He has great speed, but again, we do not need too many receivers on the roster, so that's not going to happen there. Will Allen, he's going to go to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Going to see him twice a year. Morris, he's going to the Pittsburgh Steelers as well. The Steelers stay busy. Last year, they got, I believe it was Michael Strahan. So, yeah, the Steelers, they stay busy in free agency. Deuce Staley going from Pittsburgh to the Cleveland Browns. John Casey is a Raven. McGee is a Bill. Jones, he's going to be playing for those Panthers. Kenny Holmes, another Giant turned Steeler there. Ontario Smith is a Viking still. Chris Brown, he is going to be going to those Dallas Cowboys. Mark Brunell wearing number 11 for those New England Patriots. Kevin Falk is now a Detroit Lion. Then you got Dominique Rhodes. He's going to be wearing 33 for those New England Patriots. Walker is a Lion. Evans is a Seattle Seahawks. Draft, he is a Skin. And then Warwick Dunn is now a Eagle. Strickland is now a Ram. Suggs stays with the Browns. Jones is not signed. Anybody, maybe we'll pick him up before the preseason. Bates, he signed with the Seahawks. Bryson, he signs with the Jaguars. And then Tony Williams, ex-Bengal, signs with the Cardinals. He's the last 80 overall of the bunch. So Danielson just 64 overall. But again, when he gets the ball in his hands, good things tend to happen with that 90 overall speed. 6'6" out of South Carolina State, 222 pounds, just 23 years of age. So again, last year of his contract, but I'm thinking that hopefully he can progress and he can turn into something special here with the Bengals. We will be changing BJ Montana from a free safety to a strong safety because we were low on strong safeties, but our roster is full, so I didn't want to cut anybody. I want to keep our roster intact. Henry, he was our 3rd round pick we got from the 49ers. Again, that speed is but everything else is good. But that speed, I don't know if he's going to be able to catch anybody from behind. But if they come straight for him, he should be A-okay. He should be able to bring down any running back that comes his way. Rudy Johnson, still that guy, still in his mid-20s, so he could still be that force at running back for us. He's 91 overall, going to bump up his agility. I probably should have made his break tackle 99, just make it straight beastly. But now he's 92 overall. Jason Witten, 84 overall, had 1 catch last season, has not had a 1,000-yard season. Hasn't had a season over 500 yards, forget all that. So we are going to try to make him a great Cincinnati Bengal tight end for us. And now he's 86 overall. Bump that, catching up 3 to 82 to match his jersey number. Singletary, he's not the fastest guy in the world, but he's strong. So you better believe that I will be upgrading his strength with the 2 points that we get here in the defensive lineman trench fight drill. And I probably will work with him for his whole career here, as long as he's here, with his strength. Get his strength up to 99 overall, just push O-lineman about the way. Then I had to make a decision about who I want to use in the swap ball drill. We could have went with Walker, who is 25 years of age, former Giant, but I decided to go with Terrence Newman. Why not try to make our best corner as best as he can possibly be? We do have speed out there. One thing we lack, especially when James was out there playing the corner for us, was speed. Walker, decent speed. O'Neal, decent speed. And of course, Terrence Newman out of Kansas State, very, very good speed. He will be wearing his college number because Walker wears 41. He was here first. I'm not going to change his number or whatever. John Kitna, welcome back to Cincinnati. Our other backup quarterbacks are like in the 50 overall range, 60 overall range. So definitely need to bring back Kitna. Kenna will get some playing time, a lot of playing time in the preseason. Carson Palmer might not get any, maybe playing that third one, and that will be it. Because I'm not trying to risk injury, and Palmer really can't get too much better. But I do want to help our receivers progress, especially Danielson, so I need a decent quarterback out there throwing him the rock. Palmer, again, he can't really improve too much. Next time I'm going to swap drills with him and Kitna because he could work on his throw power. His awareness is now going to be tapped out at 99, and throw accuracy is already at 99, and he's 99 overall. So he won an MVP. He is that guy for us. We are just missing some jewelry on our finger. The Broncos predicted to go 11-5 and have a deep playoff run. Watch out for Keith Brook, and he's an impact player for those Atlanta Falcons. In case you didn't know, Jacksonville, no playoffs for y'all. Gonna go 6-10 according to the predictions, but this is why they play the game. And watch out for those Cleveland Brownies, Arizona Cardinals. They could be a team to mess around with when it comes to the wild card, at least to look out for in the wild card round. But that's gonna do it. Preseason schedule looks like this: Giants, Skins, Lions, Panthers. We will have all 4 preseason games in one episode, probably 3-minute quarters. You know how I do. Going to try to help Danielson as best I can and see what these other rookies and young players can do. But that's going to do it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I do hope that the rest of your day is the best of your day. Peace, love. Hot sauce.